Bright Duty. Every student matters.
The third topic of Unit 7 is Globalization and Liberalization, where we have to discuss about its meaning and its implication on Indian society. Firstly, let's start with globalization. If we talk about it, is a process of integration of world's economies in condition of free markets, where we are talking about the interaction of different economies of the world, where they are interacting with each other for the different purposes, for trade, for jobs, for other business opportunities. And if we talk about this process of globalization had led to bringing the rapid change or rapid social change in India. And due to the interaction of the different world economies, it is leading to do the trade in the free market, and it is turning the whole world, we can say here, it is turning the whole world into a global village. We all are coming in a single territory and where we are easily able to interact with each other. How the globalization took place and what are the factors, if we discuss here, the factors responsible for introducing this globalization. So we can say the different factors like the technology, the development of technology is one of the important factors, and beside that, particularly if we are talking about the IT, information technology, which has made it possible to do or to connect or to interact with the other economies or with the other countries easily. And the second, improvement in transport and communication is another factor which led to globalization, where through the transport and communication, it is easier for people to move from one place to another place in a very short period of time and to communicate from one place to another place without moving physically. So all these things, if we talk about, are available at a very cheaper or at a very affordable rates, which are providing the people the access, to get interacted with the other countries. Here the MNCs, due to this globalization, MNCs have played an important role in spreading this globalization. MNCs are playing an important role. What are MNCs? These are multinational corporations which are playing very effective role. And these MNCs, if we talk about, they helped in promoting the internationalization of the production, and these MNCs also considered the globe or the whole world as a single market because of these MNCs, because these MNCs are set up in different countries and they are helping to interact the different countries to a particular center, and that's why the whole world has been taken as a single unit. As we know that globalization is going to have great potential, the big opportunities could be provided with the help of this globalization, as well as the different advantages we are going to get. So the following are some of the positive aspects or the potential of or the advantage of this globalization. The first one we can say here, the free market promotes competition and efficiency. Because of this free market, because now no restrictions are there, the people are allowed to move from one country to another country for the different purposes, as the whole world has been taken as a single village. So when we are able to compete with each other, when we are able to interact with each other, then definitely the competition will be there and efficiency will be very well visible. Because if we talk about the impact of this globalization could be different for the different countries, definitely if we are talking about the developed countries or the developing countries, both are going to have the separate or the different sort of advantage. The developed countries, if we talk about, they are going to get more benefit as the most of the rules and regulations are in their favor, and most of the time because of their development status, what they are getting, they are having the more access to the resources, because these are the rich countries and they are getting easy access to the different resources. Developing countries as compared to developed countries are also having the benefit, but not as equal to as the developed countries. Efficiency is also, if we talk about, due to this competition, the efficiency is also increasing. The good products, or we can say the good services, are also being provided. So somewhere we can say the producers and consumer, these are the two main, the producers and the consumers, these are the two major components of any of the market. So somewhere these producers are also getting the advantages, but again we have to understand that all the producers are not getting the same advantage, but the more advantage because of this globalization and competition is given to the consumers, because they are getting the better qualities, they are getting the efficient quality of the product or the efficient services. So somewhere we can say that different components are getting the different sorts of advantages due to this globalization. Secondly, we can say that globalization promotes the flow of foreign investment. Foreign investment, if it is done in any of the country, it means that country status is going to be improved, and definitely the development or the change in that particular society will be visible. If globalization is there and MNCs being a part of this globalization, playing an important role by setting up any of their unit in any particular country, by setting up their unit in any of the particular country. And when they are setting up, it means they are inviting the foreign investment. MNC means the multinational companies are coming to your companies to set up the unit, the manufacturing unit or any production unit. It means that investment is going to help you out in the development of your own society. Next, if we talk about globalization guarantees increased employment opportunities. Definitely, we can understand that foreign investment will be done in your country, then definitely it will lead to employment opportunities for the people of that particular society, because if the company is going to get open, so different activities are related to that, and for that different activities, the workers, the skilled as well as unskilled, both sort of workers will be required, and if that sort of requirement will be there, it will definitely lead to increased employment opportunity, and if employment will be provided to these people, it will lead to improve their economic status and ultimately will lead to the development of the nation. So the previous three factors, if we talk about, or the main these two factors, if we talk about, ultimately will lead to economic development of the nation. If any of the country, some investment is being done, it means they are earning something. Secondly, if people of that area or that particular state or particular country are getting employment, it means they will also start earning. So overall economic development will take place. The next, another positive impact of globalization is that it will increase the cooperation at international level. So it is going to increase the cooperation at international level, which will result in the era of world peace. Because if we are interconnected with the different countries, if we are doing the trade and if we are involved through the trade and commerce with the other countries, then definitely somewhere we are going to have the good relations with each other. And if this sort of good relations will prevail, then definitely it will take the whole world towards the peace instead of involving in wars or some other sort of conflicts at the national level. So all these are the positive impacts, although these impacts, as we have seen, are not going to be the same for all. Somewhere it is very good, and somewhere for some countries or some part or some areas we can say that it is going to be good. But if we talk about overall positive points, so we are talking about this somewhere the national or the economic development of the country is going to take place. Now, the next topic under that globalization will do the discussion over the implications of globalization. So, implications here basically we are going to talk about the impact of globalization, and whenever we are talking about the impact of globalization, that is going to be divided into two major parts. It could be negative one as well as the positive one. So, both the implications are going to be there that we have to discuss. Following are main consequences of globalization. First one, it has led to substantial economic growth. How? That we have seen, because if any of the foreign investment will be done in your country, definitely it will lead to growth. Beside that, if MNCs, the multinational corporations will be set up, it will provide the different opportunities for the people of that country, and that will lead to economic growth of the nation. Secondly, based on the principle of free market, globalization has promoted competition and efficiency. That positive impact also we have already discussed, that how being the part of the free market, easily we are able to interact with each other. It will lead to the competition, and when the competition will be there, the good results are going to be there, because everyone will try to survive in that free market. Everyone will try to get benefit out of that. Everyone is going to get the maximum profit out of that market. So, that efficiency will also improve. The quality of the goods and the products or the services are going to improve. Here we can talk about the quality will improved in case of both, whether it is a product, goods or the services. Global capitalism is relatively free from regulation. When we are talking about globalization, it means freely we are the part of this market. Freely we are able to interact with the other countries. So, regulations will not be there. It is supported by international economic institutions. So, the less chances of exploitations are also there, because some authority is going to be there who will look after this international trade and commerce. So, different organizations or the institutions are there, those who are keeping check on these interaction with the different countries, or we can talk about that they are keeping check on the process of this globalization based on the different countries. For example, the World Bank is there, IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, is also keeping check on that, providing the loan for investment, foreign investment if we are talking about. So, all these are the organizations which are deciding the rules and regulations for doing trade throughout the world. And the most important institution is World Trade Organization, that is WTO. We know that all these organizations are there, but somewhere if we talk about beside that these are the positive impact, somewhere the developed countries are always at the advantage as compared to the other developing or the underdeveloped countries, because the rules and regulation most of the time if we talk about are in the favor of these developed countries, because most of the members of WTO, if we talk about, and the members countries of these this WTO we talk about, are mainly the major developed countries. So somewhere they are getting the advantage, although in overall terms if we talk about, these are going to be the positive impact. The next one we can discuss here, globalization is supposed to provide opportunities and employment also, because better opportunity due to globalization, because if you are talking about it as a free market, as a global village, so it means for if better opportunities are there in other countries, it will be easy for you people to move from one country to another country to get that job. So if you are able to move from one to another country, it means it is a better opportunity for you to improve your standard of living, to improve your economic status, as well as employment opportunities within the country and outside the country will be there. Globalization has also led to the concentration of economic power in the hands of the MNCs. So somewhere we can say that due to this globalization, what is happening, the economic power coming in the hands of this MNCs, which are going to be set up in that particular country, and as a result what happened, the power of the nation states has decreased and the rights of the common citizens are also restricted, because some rules and regulations they are bringing along with it. So somewhere they are going to reduce the role of the state government, or it is going to reduce the role of the states, as well as going to restrict the powers or the rights of the citizens of that particular country. So here we have seen that these are some of the impacts, some are the positive one, and here we saw that this is going to be this is one of the negative impact of this globalization. And because of this negative consequences or negative impact, if we talk about, there is increasing resistance to the conditions imposed by international financial institutions. So more restrictions are given, or more rules and regulations are adopted, or rigid rules and regulations we can say are implied here, so that these sort of exploitation or these sort of negative impact should not be there. So we have discussed till the topic globalization. Now we are going to take up the another topic of this part, that is liberalization. Here we'll do the discussion over the meaning of this liberalization. The term liberal, if we talk about, it is related to freedom. And liberalization, if we are talking about, it is the process under which a highly regulated economy is deregulated and decontrolled. It means liberalization is related to removal of restrictions from trade. Mainly when we are talking about the removal of the different restrictions or the obstacles from the trade, we take it as a liberalization. And here we can define properly it as a process where highly regulated economies are deregulated, where the restrictions are removed, as well as decontrol, where the government is not going to have that much control over the trade and commerce. The idea of liberalization, if we talk about, is based on the thinking that state involvement and intervention in the economy should be minimum. That's why this liberalization term has been given, where the state is not going to have that much say in the control of the country, in the control of the economy. It is popularized by the slogan, less state, better state, where they are working that less restrictions should be there by the government, and more and better the state is going to be, and better the state is going to be emerge. And under this liberalization, if we talk about the dominance the dominance of the state, if we talk about, is given to, it gives way to private enterprise. Means the control of the government is reducing, but the control of the private enterprises or the private companies will increase. So that is actually the liberalization here we are talking about. The privatization of the public sector will take place. As we can see in our country also, many of the things earlier, if we talk about the electricity board, that was under the control of, government, but later on it was given to the private company. So many such sort of things are there, which under which the government is giving that control from public sectors to the private sectors. In India, if we talk about, the policy of liberalization was firstly adopted in 1991. During the first phase of this liberalization, that was from 1991 to 1994, there was a dismantling of the old quota permit Raj. So, during this first phase, during this time duration, if we talk about, there was dismantling of the old quota, which the old strategy that we were following in quota permit Raj, that was abolished. Secondly, during the second phase, that was started from 1995 to 2000, two important development took place. The two important development took place. These were the encouragement given to the direct foreign investment, means the foreign companies or the MNCs were directly invited to invest in India. And second, downsizing the public sector. Downsizing the public sector means reduced their control. And how the control was reduced? The control of the public sectors here, if we talk about, was reduced by giving the access to or the opportunity to the private sector. By giving the control to the private sector, their control was reduced. The control of the public sector was reduced here. From 2001, if we talk about, all restrictions on import have been removed and disinvestment in public sector has been accelerated. So what happened? Before 2001, few products were there which were restricted, which were not allowed to import in India. But from 2001, all the restrictions on import means when we are getting the things from outside. So all such kind of restrictions were removed. China was easily able to do trade with India, and it was affecting Indian economy somewhere. Somewhere the local producers, the local manufacturers were at the disadvantage. Although the big manufacturer, the big producers, if we talk about, they were getting the advantage by this foreign investment or by the MNCs, but not all were having the same benefit or were not having the same impact. Besides that, after removal of these restrictions from the import, disinvestment in public sector also accelerated. Instead of investing in public sector, the companies were invited or were influenced to invest in private sector. So these changes started occurring after the policy of liberalization. In the next topic, we are going to discuss about the implications of liberalization. The consequences of liberalization have been both positive and negative, that we already know that whether it is globalization, liberalization, the impact is going to be both, either the positive or the negative. So, here we are going to discuss about some of the following consequences of liberalization. So, the first one is, there has been rapid economic growth, especially in the recent past. Due to this liberalization, what happened? The rapid economic growth started taking place. There has been a general growth in industrial, especially if we talk about the IT sector. However, the benefits, if we discussed here, benefits of growth are not spread evenly, were not at all uniform. Poverty continues to be a serious problem, and about 26% of the population, if we discuss here, is still below the poverty line, is still below poverty line. It comes under BPL. So, at one point we are talking about that why these restrictions are removed and we are able to interact with the different developed countries, we are getting the foreign investment, we are bringing these change in our society, but somewhere we can see that poor strata or the poor section of our society are not at all at the advantage. Although the unskilled labor are also required, but not all are consumed by these industries, all are not used by these industries to get prosper or to bring the change in their lifestyle. So here we can see that economic growth was there, but not uniform for all. Secondly, we can say that industry is becoming more efficient and the competitive one. The industries, how they are becoming more efficient and competitive? Due to getting the modern technology, due to getting interacted with the different developed country where they are getting the more access to the new strategy and the advanced technology or the modernization. But there has been also increasing problem of unemployment, which is becoming one of the more serious problem. Unemployment is also leading to that, because if we are talking about the efficiency and competitiveness, somewhere it is required only the skilled worker. So those who are not skilled or the unskilled one, they are coming under this category of unemployment. Thirdly, the another impact of liberalization is, while economy is growing, the privatization of public sector undertaking is reducing the roles of the state. If we talk about overall development in the country could be seen, the overall economy could be seen that growth is there. The privatization of the public sector is reducing the role of state. Somewhere the states are not able to intervene or interfere in the policies or the regulatory bodies adopted by these MNCs or the private companies. And this impact, if we talk about, has resulted in the decline of the social sectors like education and healthcare, because the role of government is reducing and they are not able to bring the development in this education sector and the other healthcare sector. So somewhere we are lagging behind. In other sector, if we are growing, in somewhere we are lagging behind. That is going to be a very serious problem for our country. Next, another impact is privatization has introduced sophisticated technology. If we discuss this sophisticated technology has seriously affected women who were employed in the unorganized sector earlier, household industries or handicrafts. So, because of this technology, what happened? They have led to the replacement of women, basically those who were involved in packaging and these sort of work. Now the machinery has taken their place and they have become unemployed. And because of these negative impact of this liberalization, there has been also an opposition to privatization and the demand that the government should spend more on the social sector, because different organization or the different political units in our country, they are pressurizing the government, or the opposition party also we can say that they are also pressurizing, or such sort of interest or the pressure groups are there in our country which are asking the government to increase their role and bring the changes in the different social sectors, for example, education and healthcare, and they are asking to reduce the role of these private companies, and on the other hand asking to increase the role of this public sector unit. So, overall we have seen that both globalization and liberalization, both are the very important factors for any of the society to bring the change, and although they have brought the different changes in our society, which has taken our society to interact with the other countries of the world, and has brought the positive changes in our country, which has led to the economic growth of the nation. But if we talk about the negative impacts are also there. So, we need to maintain the balance between the two, and we need to grab more and more outcome, the positive outcome out of these, of this unit 7. Now, we will do the discussion of the question answers based on this third topic.